So I remember to this day when Ashlyn was in elementary school and she was learning to play the ukulele. It was adorable. She was so little. This is a picture of her in Mississippi, and she loved creating music and joy for people with that little ukulele. And the amazing thing to me was how she could play the chords on that little ukulele and sing all at the same time. And the funny thing, too, was that my favorite song that she did, it wasn't a religious song, and it wasn't a country song or a rock and roll song. It was a Hawaiian song called the Hukilau Hula Dance. And everybody loved this song. It was so filled with joy. And so she would perform it all over. She played it for some friends. The friends talked her into doing it for the school talent show. So she played it at the school. She played it in church, in front of the church. She played it at home. She played it out at assisted living facilities that we would go around to, and she would bring joy with her little ukulele. And it was a really joyful tune. It kind of went like this. Oh, we're going on a hukilau, a hooky, 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 hukilau, everybody. I said, just like that, right? And so it's kind of a catchy tune with a little strum in the background. And so this week, as we're focusing on counting our blessings, specifically our joy, I couldn't help but think and count my blessings when it comes to the memories I have of my kids, right? That's a special blessing for me. And I have 4 kids, so it's a lot of work, right? It's a lot of work. But there's also a lot of wonderful memories that comes along with that. And so I think about Ashlyn, and not just the Hukilau song, but the play she's in, Beauty and the Beast. By the way, today at 2 p.m. is the last chance you get to see that over at Mountain View High School. So if you're looking for something to do around 2 p.m., she's in the play Beauty and the Beast, and it is epic. You're not going to want to miss it. But then there's like Riley with helping me with worship leading when Mark's away. I remember when Garrett did Les Mis, and Gabe, all of his ROTC stuff, and all these are precious memories. And so, how about you? You know, I know we've all have hard memories that we think about from time to time. But this morning, as we're focusing on counting our blessings, I want you to pull up a joyful memory. So just right there, while you're sitting there, think of a joyful memory from your past. Get that very joyful memory in your head. Does everybody have one? All right, now I want you to count that as your first blessing this morning. That is your first blessing of joy, something from the past. And, you know, I don't want to just leave it in the past, though. How did we get to that slide already? Did I? I don't want to just leave it in the past, though. I want to talk about the joys of the here and now. Now we can go to that. And one of those joys is finding new fishing spots, right? Finding new fishing spots is a joy for me. And, you know, the interesting thing for me is talking about songs. It's like, it's the circle of life. Because in this slide, you see like the whole cycle, okay? So those flies in my hand, up in the upper right hand corner, are flies that I tied. And that spot to the far left is a spot that I found while I was out hiking. And that monster fish right there is one that I reeled in on those flies that I tied at the spot I found. And guess what? Yes, in the bottom right-hand corner, that's that fish that I ate. And so, yeah, that is a joy in the present, and that is an ongoing joy for me, right? To find these spots and to enjoy. And I even had the joy of having garlic and onion in my pantry with olive oil and butter to coat that fish, which made it really, really good as I smoked it on the grill. And so why don't we go ahead and let's do that together, right? Close your eyes, and I want you to think about something ongoing in your life right now, in the present, that's bringing you a lot of joy. Something that's giving you a lot of joy. Does everybody have one? All right, that's your second blessing for the morning. So we have a blessing from the past. We have a blessing from right here and now. And, I guess somewhere along the line, I need to tie this all into the readings for the day, right? So, you didn't get all dressed up and go through all that work to get to church just to hear about this massive fish I caught, right? So, so let's look at our scripture reading today from 1 John 4:7, where we read this: "Beloved, let us love one another, because love is of God. Everyone who loves is begotten by God and knows God." So looking at this verse, it's kind of easy to start counting our blessings, right? First off, there's that blessing of love, that love we get to enjoy between ourselves and other people. And so kind of look right and left right now and think about what a blessing it is to be loved by that person on your right and left. And if your significant other might not be here, or somebody you love right now is not here, just picture them being in that seat beside you. And picture that love you have from that other person. But see, it doesn't stop there. We can take this a step further, and I want you to think of what a blessing it is for you to love that person to your right and left. The blessing of your love to that person on your right and left. Look around. Think about the blessing of your love towards the people in this room, the people in your community and your circle. That's a blessing. But did you catch the other blessing that we need to count that's in that verse? It says that all who love are begotten of God and know God. And if you think about that, what that means is, as we love, we come to know God. So if we're at a place in our life where we really don't feel like we know God very well, a very good way to become more knowledgeable of God and to understand more about God is to engage in more love. More love to the people to your right and left. More love to the people in your church, in your community. And the more love you can engage in, according to this verse, the more you're going to know God, because God is love, right? But wait, there's more. We read in the gospel reading that today there's something even more profound about love that we can learn, and that is that through loving one another, which is what Jesus commanded us to do, our joy is made complete. Remember, our focus today is on joy, and this is really the future blessing. So we've looked at a blessing from the past, we've counted a blessing from the present, and now we're looking towards this future blessing. It's almost like the story of Christmas, past, present, and future, right? And so we're looking towards a future blessing. What is the future blessing? That our joy would be complete. How? Through experiencing Jesus' love. So if we're going to try to experience this complete joy through the love of Christ, what does the love of Christ look like? In this verse it says, "I have told you this so that I told you this so that my joy may be in you and your joy might be complete. This is my commandment, love one another as I love you." So, how do we love like Jesus? Jesus loved us in such a special way. Think about how Jesus loved. Jesus loved each person for their uniqueness. He didn't discriminate among his disciples. He loved them all for exactly who they were. He forgave their flaws. And let's be honest, if we're not in a place of love, we can get focused on people's flaws. People can get focused on our flaws. I tell you what, you want to see my flaws? Follow me around for a week. You'll have a list a mile long. But I'll challenge you to look at the love instead. Right? How about he helped people grow? Jesus' love. He helped people grow from right where they were at. Wherever they were in their journey. And we're all in different spots. Jesus just invites us to come along on that journey of growth and healing with him. He encouraged people to try new things and to live into God's unique purpose for their life. He gave them food when they needed it. And he compassionately tended to their life wounds, whether they were physical, spiritual, mental, emotional. Jesus lovingly and compassionately tended to those wounds. And if we look at the cross, we see that he even gave himself so that other people could move forward in his love. He gave it all. And so we have a lot of blessings to count today. As we count them, let's remember that love is the greatest. And if we're going to try to know God more and come into this complete joy and love the way Jesus loved, then that's a choice we're going to make. So I want you to look left and right. And I want you to say, I'm going to step up my love game this week. Go ahead, say it. I'm going to step up my love game this week. And I'm going to challenge you to do that, because I think in doing that, you're going to come to know God a little bit more this week.